Hey, so this is my 2001 GMC Jimmy 4x4. Turn on the music somewhat. We're gonna replace this bumper end right here. You know, these Blazers, Jimmys, these S10 series, these have really shitty bumper ends, and these things always break. So we're gonna replace this. Let's start off. You got one screw right here, one screw right there, one screw right there. As you can see, I already take that one out. Of course, make sure you got a bucket to put your screws in. But these are 7mm. The heads on these are 7mm. And you got those three on the fender, or the inside of the wheel well. So let me get that last one out. Alright, so on the left side of these, which is the side I'm on, they put this black box. I'm not sure entirely what it does, but it's obviously needed. It's got hoses running in and out of it. So we're going to leave that alone. What that does, you can tell I've been a little off-roading. What that does is it makes our job harder. So we got to get up in there, just like get to these bolts back there. So what I'm hoping, take out this bolt right here, I believe is a 10mm. I gotta go find 10 real quick, but should be, I believe, a 10mm. Once you get this out, might be able to move the actual bumper end over enough where we can get wrenches up in there. So let me go find that piece real, or that socket real quick, and try and get that out. Alright, so obviously a deep well is not necessary for that bolt right there, but I found the deep well before I could find the standard one, so that fits on right there. Grab my ratchet. Make sure it spins the right way. That should be the right way, and then crack this off. Hard to do when you're right-handed. Doing it with your left hand. That, I think I'm tightening it. Yep, it was. So, I'm going to keep ratcheting that off. It's 10mm. That'll get this bolt out. There's no nut on the top. As you can see through the mud, there's no nut on the top. It's just one of those threaded bolts. So let me get that off and see what we can do. Alright guys, so be careful. I ended up just breaking the head of that bolt off, but bumper end is free from there. So now with the front free and this part free, we get a little bit more play to get to those bolts. Those two I also believe are 10mm. If I believe right, here's my 10mm. And yep, those go on right there. So, I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can see. We'll find out. I'll let you know. Just a little note, getting to these bolts up in here, up under here, this is where some extensions of the swivel can come in handy. So, I'm gonna crank these bolts off, hopefully not break anything else. If you do end up breaking this bolt head like I did, I feel a zip tie when you get the new one on will be sufficient enough on holding that. You pull that tight enough. So, no biggie. Things happen. It's an old truck, you know. So, let me get these bolts off. So, then back up in here. Normally, well, depending on your severity of how bad it's broken, there's that bolt right there. These are all nuts on this side. The bolts come through from the inside of the body. So, there's the one back there, and then there should be 3 further down in there, from what I can tell. So, let's try and get that off. As far as it being connected to the actual steel bumper, it doesn't appear to be. So, let's get those off and. Alright, so removing that bottom bolt. This is what I meant by hopefully getting that flexibility. You can see back in there. There's the socket, and I'm trying to get that one all the way in the back. My arm. There. Trying to get this one all the way in the back, yeah. And with that bottom bolt off, you have a lot more play that you can wrench on the old bumper cover. Being only with one hand and holding the phone with the other one makes it a little difficult, but obviously y'all would be holding the, you know, you're not going to be holding a phone while taking this off. I am for your benefit, so I'm going to get the rest of these off. I got one off so far, so what you're looking at is one of these guys. You got 4 of these, and I've looked in here. There's one there. Light again. There's one in there, right there, and then 3 further back. How I would recommend taking these off is if you got a big gaping hole in this like I do, don't go through here. Don't use this as an access hole, because once you get the new one on there and you're going to put those nuts back on, you're not going to have this big gaping hole there to put them back on. So this one, you have enough room right here where you should be able to get them, and then working your way down is what I found the easiest. So alright, so I already got 3 of those nuts out. They're right there. You can see them right there. Yeah, broken head. 3 screws from the fender or wheel well. I got the 4th one up in here. There we go. That makes everything easy. I got the 4th one right here. It's to the point where it should just be finger taut. Let's get this off. That in there, and then this should just drop out right here. It's gonna get caught by your bumper, the actual metal bumper. So push that out, and boom. There's your bumper end right there. And here's your big exposed area where bumper end should be. Haha. So, as you can see, mine's body color. Some of these parts right here, these are painted just black. It all depends on your vehicle and your trim level. So, as you can see, you got the 1 stud from back here. And you got 1, 2, 3. And that's what holds your bumper end on. Mine here, as you can see, kind of dirty on mine. This also gives you access to get into your bumper bolts in case your bumper's bad. So my bumper's fine. It'll be painted soon, but as I can see, I'll need to take these bolts out, and same on the other side just to get the bumper off. This also shows you where you can get to replace your plastic step pads and all that stuff. So let me go grab the new one. I'll show you the new one and the old one. We'll put the new one on. I'm gonna try and get this stud out so I can zip tie it. And yeah. Other thing about mine, I have a SLE model. I got this ridiculous raised trim. Most Blazer bumpers stop right around here, right where my finger is. They stop here. On the GMC SLE, they had this raised trim piece that went up above the normal bumper. This trim piece wraps around the car. I painted mine black. They're normally silver, but it took me forever to find a replacement with this trim piece. But if you got a SLE Jimmy that has this, trust me, they're out there. You just got to look for them. So that's garbage. Let's put the new one on, and
all right,
we'll be right back.
So obviously the top one, the green one, is the old one.
They got big ass motherfucker hole in the back.
Black one is the new one. This was originally silver. It was a silver on silver with the trim piece up there. I sprayed it with like a bed liner type rubber coating thing that I had. Let it dry. It seems nice and solid. So same way. Only problem with this one is it's got this little bit of deformity, probably from heat or something, but I mean, it's no big deal. There's no big ass hole in the back, so that's it. There's no cracks. It's actually in really good shape. That deformity I was talking about is the old one. As you can see, that's straight. The new one, it bends inwards, which, you know, I don't really care about. So, because that part goes here. That part goes
walk into the back. That part goes into this gap here caused by the bumper. Oh, shit. Right there, so that'll go in there. So, I mean, there might be a tiny bit of a gap, but it won't be bad. Again, all bolts and nuts and shit in a bucket, so you don't lose them. Just don't step on the buckets like I did. So, put this bitch on. What I'm gonna do, since it's just me and I only got two hands, I'm gonna put it up on the studs that are protruding, put one of the nuts on, reinstall is just like removal. Also, another thing I want to highlight was 24-inch dual din lap bar in the grill. That's a custom install I did. Cut the grill so that I could put that on there. That's bolted onto in here. That's bolted onto what the bumper bolts onto, so it's solid metal. So just wanted to show that off, and I'm proud of that. And then where tow hooks normally go, I got these cheap ass AutoZone, like $25 fucking set of fog lights. Same over there, so it came with two. Did a install on those, wired it all myself, same with the light bar. And then inside, green interior lights. Yeah, shut up. I don't care what you guys say, but I got this little red switch. Oop. That turns on those lights. And then down here, I have the light bar tied in with my subwoofer remote wire. So when the stereo turns on, that turns on. Button on and off. Let's turn those on. Both of them on. I have a feeling one of my fog lights might be out. Nope. No. That's with that stuff on. Light bar's bright as hell. Fog lights make nice fog lights, other than the factory fog lights, which are, yeah, those are, yeah. I don't really like the factory fog lights. They're kind of like janky and stupid. I just don't like them. So I'll show you those. And the car's gonna be about me and got the headlights on. That's where the stock fog lights are. I'm sure you got Jimmy guys know where those are, but I mean, they're kind of dumb. So I just don't like them, so I put those fog lights on. There's just the more light on the front end. I mean, you can't go wrong with lights. So anyway, back on subject. Let's put this bumper on, call it a night. And then, since the new bumper I have painted all black, I am going to go down the side from the black trim right here all the way down, even inside the wheel well arch parts, all the way around, including both bumpers, both front and rear bumpers. I'm going to black that all out with like a bed liner rubber coating thing that I have on the on that. So I'm gonna put this on. Be right back. So I got the new part on. Putting the new one on is a little bit trickier. You can't really see the studs up in here because, you know, you won't have a hole in the back. But as you can see is where my old bumper came up to based on the dirt line right here. Yeah. It's not up all the way. Once you get the little bolts on, once you get the little nuts on, that'll help pull it up. I put the back one on first. I figured that one would be the trickiest to get on. I was going to put the very forward one on, then that one, and kind of, you know, alternate tightening them so it goes up evenly. Lastly, of course, will be the fender ones. And then, in my case, since I did end up breaking that one bolt, a zip tie through this. Which, for this part, a zip tie, I mean, it just keeps it so it doesn't go like this. A zip tie right there, pulled tight enough, will be plenty enough to, you know, hold that. So, other three on, get this bitch tightened down, put that on, put the bolts up there on, and fucking call it a day. So yeah, I got this one blacked out like that. You can see the trim. I already had the trim blacked out, but I'm gonna do everything from the trim down black, which includes the rest of the bumpers, down the doors, front bumper. That side bumper will come off eventually, so pretty much all the bumpers gonna come off, and then I'm gonna do the side on the car, because when it comes to the doors, if you try pulling this off, you're gonna have a hard time putting it on because this is just glued onto the doors. This piece, the bottom piece that starts up here in the wheel well, goes down all the way down the fucking like side thing. Seems like it only has like these clips holding it on, and then some bolts. So I might take that piece off just to make it easier to paint the trim. Obviously tape off everything above the trim, but that's the plans. So let's get the rest of this on, then yeah. Alright, so those are all in, those are tightened down. There's no real torque specification for those, just don't snap the fucking studs that stick out, because I don't know how to replace those, and I don't feel like replacing those. But I got those tightened down nice. As you can see, it helped. Tightening down those down helped bring it up more so that it covered that line. Now it's just lining these three up, tightening those down. Sorry, that was blurry as hell. Lining these three up right in here, tightening those down, zip tying that support bracket on right there, and I call it good. I think this thing's gonna look sick as hell, two-tone like that. So can't wait for it to be summer. Gotta get some more money. 4x4 monster, you know how it is. So I gotta get rims repainted, replasti dipped, or powder coated, or figure something out. I mean, they look like they've been neglected. And yeah, I left the center caps chrome. I think it looks good. So my car, in my opinion, I don't care what you guys say about if it looks good or not. It's my car. It's how I like it. So that's that. I'm gonna put these three on. Remember, these three were 7mm. I found the little 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch, right? 3/8, 1/4 inch. I found the little 1/4 inch was good to get in there, to get those bolts out. Half of them, the screws are so, the washers are so they're so corroded and shit. The washers don't turn, you know, like they're corroded to the head, so you can actually use the washers as a grip to, you know, screw these back on like that, you know. So I'm gonna put these three in, zip tie that, and get it off the ramps. And I don't know, ramps aren't needed, you know. That's a personal thing. I had them. I figured it would make it a bit easier, considering it's not, the back end's higher off the ground. I figured it would be easier. It was a bit easier. You weren't on your back as much or leaning over as much, but I mean, that's really all there is to it. Just careful, don't break that bolt like I did. I got obviously the rest of it out, so no biggie if you do. It's those ones up there you want to be careful for. And remember, there's four. There's one in the back right over here. 1, 2, and 3. 3 out there. And then I'm sure people are wondering about the other side. The other side, you know, this obviously other bumper end. This side you got your muffler you gotta look out for, which takes up a nice bit of room. I got exhaust tip on there, so I could take that off, but up under here you don't have that black box, so as you can see over there, bolts are a little bit easier to get to. There's it right there. There's the one there. The other one kind of blends in a little bit, but you know, you got just mud and shit, but you got, there's a good angle. So you got that one there on the right, the one that's right in the middle of the screen, one there. Oh shit, this one got like, wait a minute. That one right there, I'll put a like a box or something around it. That ain't actually a bolt. I'm not sure what that is. That's probably a, actually, you know what? I think that's a rivet to keep this shitty trim piece, this annoying thing, bolted to that. So let's go back under here. You got one right there, and then you got one
2, and 3, and I'll mark all 3 of those. So that's your 4. And on this side, you got that one bolt right there, and then 1, 2, and 3. So right side, left side, they're pretty much the same thing, you know, just different sides, different things to get around. So on the right side, you got your exhaust you got to get around. On the left side, you got this black box thing to get around. So I do know if you take this out, you will throw codes. I don't know exactly what it's for, but it does something. It's probably some emission bullshit. But that's that. I'm gonna finish putting those wheel hub one or the wheel well ones on, and zip tie that down so it don't, you know, rock back and forth. And that's pretty much all it does. Is it keeps it so it doesn't go like that. Just an extra support piece. And then here's that part where I was saying it was pushed in a bit. As you can see, there's that gap there now. Unless you're looking at it, you're probably not going to notice it. So if we go over here, there it is. You can see there's not that gap there. So I can make that gap there, but whatever. Who cares? So finish putting those in. Yeah, that's how you replace the bumper ends on these S10 Jimmys and Blazers. The actual S10 trucks and Sonomas, GMC Sonomas, they have a full bumper. So us Blazer guys, the Jimmy Blazer guys, Bravada, all those, the 4-doors. And again, this is for a 4-door. I have a 4-door. I'm not I know the 2-door is a bit different. I don't know how the hardware is, but I do know the 2-door bumper end is a bit different. But anyway, that's how you replace these. The S10 small truck and the Sonoma small truck has a full bumper, so this doesn't even apply. Their trim piece ends right around here, and then their bumper comes and wraps around for them. So they got the steel bumper instead of this plastic shit. But I mean, I haven't seen a video like this, so figured I'd make one. So that's that. Yeah, cool. You guys want other videos? I mean, I've done. Here, let me grab something. Big ass flashlight. As you can see in here, right up in there, I got that red block. That's my motor mount. I got energy and suspension synthetic motor mounts. No, not synthetic. Polyurethane or some shit like that. They're a lot better than the stock motor mounts. If you keep blowing through motor mounts, I would suggest getting these. I can put a link to these in my description. Also, I did my trans mount, so if you guys have questions on tips and shit on how to do that, I can try and fill you all in. So that's that. If you guys have questions, I've done my dash speakers, door speakers, routed my sub. Pretty much done everything to this thing. So that's that. I'm gonna end it then. It's done of rattling on. Oh yeah. Also, I did interior lights as well. So that's green. Those are green. Floor's green. My flash on my phone's on, but the one in the back is green too. So if you guys have questions on how to replace these, I can give you guys a quick tutorial video or reply or something like that. So same with the taking off the dash, I can do that eventually. Just, you guys gotta ask for it and I'll do it to an extent. I ain't gonna tell you how to take off a door. I guess I could, so it's not that bad, but anyway, I'm rambling on, so night y'all. This is done. That's how you replace the bumper end on a 4-door Blazer, S10 Blazer, GMC Jimmy, Oldsmobile Bravada, whatever you have. I do think the Bravadas are a bit different than the S10s and Jimmys, but that's that. So throw this piece of shit out and call it a night. Cool. Thanks, y'all.